This is the Gundam fixed figuration number 43 Next Generation Mobile Suit from Gundam Unicorn, the RGZ-95 ReZEL. It is a damn sexy mobile suit and a pretty cool toy. I'll start off the review. This is the ReZEL in its standard configuration. You can tell because it has the very plain, compact, and somewhat Methasy, somewhat Zeta's 2-ish, sort of normal little booster pack. And this is a 1/144th scale figure. It is not really big, but it's not really insubstantial. It's got a nice size to it. It is mostly plastic. It's very high quality, uses a lot of POM parts, especially for the transformation mechanism. The joints are stiff, and there are numerous points of articulation. You can pull the legs out pretty far. Just pull up the skirt armor here. Get the leg out all the way. Ankles are a little limited, but I still think it looks nice. It works pretty well. Head moves, hips move. A lot of cool things. As far as accessories go, this guy comes with a number of optional fists for holding things like a beam saber, if you want to get that classic fighting the Black Tri-Stars look, just go and grab his shield. Very nice, very nicely detailed. I like all the tampu markings. It has a little NA for Nalagama, the mothership that it launches from. It's got a couple little numbers for it, lots of tiny red lettering because, hey, this is a Kotoki figure. And what you do is you just peg this in here, push it in as tight as possible. So you give him a shield, you give him a beam saber. These actually have a removable blade too. It's kind of odd. If I recall correctly, the beam saber is stored internally on the ReZELs, so there's really nothing you can do with them even if you take the beam blade off. If you want to give him a gun, it comes with gun holding hand, beam rifle, sadly the beam rifle does not have a removable magazine, as was seen in the first episode of the Unicorn OVA, though I still like it. I think it looks pretty cool. So just get it in there nice and tight. Definitely looks the part. Again, really solid figure. Now, if you're like me and you have a fetish for backpack wings, the ReZEL Commander type comes with a couple of nice moving variable geometry wings. And the way these attach is there's just a little cup here for the ball joints in the back. Just pop off. Standard type backpack, and then thread in these ball joints. Now the fact that they don't actually have a kind of cover on the ball joint means that these are a little looser than the standard backpack wings, but I like them enough that it doesn't really bother me that much. And because the Commander always gets the biggest and best weapons, you can also attach this, the Mega Beam Launcher. Huge weapon, and has a collapsible handle. The way this attaches is that you just use this little mounting bracket here, pull off one of the blisters on the side of the nose cone on the back, And hopefully, when I put this on, this whole backpack nose won't come off as it is wont to do. Out of all the parts on this toy, this backpack area here, this nose cone is the most prone to pop off. It's a simple peg and hole joint, but the problem is there's no real way for you to snap it in. And as you can see in this video, the actual support arm, which is articulated, has no problem just holding the gun, even without having the figure support it. And of course, if you want, you can just maneuver it down, get into a nice position where you can have the figure actually clasp the weapon. Takes some finagling, but looks cool. And there goes the backpack. So yeah, you can see this is a simple peg and hole, but it's just really hard to push the thing in all the way so that it gets good grip. There we go. So here we go. ReZEL with Mega Beam Launcher. Looks really cool. Very nicely detailed weapon. And if you want to pose the ReZEL in a flying position, like it's in space, what you do is you remove backpack, and then what you do is slot in this additional spacer piece, which I can't find right. Oh, it's right on the end. Yeah, so this is the support arm, this is the attachment point, and what you do is you just put it in between where the backpack attaches and the backpack itself, and then push it in as hard as you possibly can. Hopefully you get a good grip on it. And then just take the incredibly pretentious display base here and then just stick the stand on the end. There we go. ReZEL looking like it's gonna fly. Flying in space with its wings, which do nothing in space, but they look really cool. And this figure also features a transformation into a small mobile armor thing. Oops. And everything's starting to fall off. Alright, well, that's a good sign that I need to start doing the transformation. So, for the transformation, I actually do take parts off in order to accomplish this. Now, despite the fact that it looks like I'm really just tearing this figure apart, I have to say I do not really mind the transformation on this figure, because you don't leave anything behind. Everything that you take off, you're just putting back. And also, I understand completely why they decided to have you do things like, remove the arms, just take off the hip armor and stuff like that, because for a toy this size, you would basically have either oversized mechanisms, which have to be big and clunky just to be sturdy, or you would have really small, fragile mechanisms that look more accurate, but would just frustrate you as you try to put this guy through his transformation, which mostly consists of collapsing all of his limbs in the most awkward way possible. Alright, so you can see I'm just pulling this part up, and then you push the head down, recesses a little bit. What you can do next is you can take these sections of the torso off, and then just put them together. And then put them back in. And then what you do is you can leave the wings off, they're getting in the way. Take off the butt plate here. Pull the legs out. Snap this whole part in position. Making a very deranged, scary looking thing. And also while I'm here, I'm going to show you the part you're going to forget about the most, which is the retracting ankles, which is very strange. I think they probably could have just had a little mechanism that retracted. And what you do is just take this out and then move it up the half a centimeter to get into the proper position, and then you just put the whole thing back on. Honestly, you're not really going to notice it if you don't retract them for the mobile armor mode. So I kind of have to wonder what's the whole point of doing it, but I'm doing it for the sake of the video. Also remember to get this little armor piece out of the way before you stick the whole ankle back in. And now what we can do is we can just stick the arms back in. Now in the instructions they say you're supposed to actually take the skirt armor off, but I found that for the most part these are actually, not only are they difficult to get on, but it's kind of unnecessary because you can just put the arms in without having to actually take the skirt armor off. It's just a matter of angling them and the arms in the proper position so that it just goes right in. So you just kind of like that, and then you just snap it in there, and then bring the legs down. Put the butt plate back on to lock the hips in place. Pull these forward. Oops. I didn't seat that properly. And honestly, it's a very sturdy toy. I mean, even though it looks like stuff is popping off, if you pop it in the right way, then it generally stays on. What is this really? What is this? Feet attack? Okay, anyway. And just oops. Take this collapsed thing, this part back on. You see what I mean? This is on a double joint, and it's just really hard to get a good grip on it to put it in. I mean, if I could just slam it in as hard as possible, I'm sure it wouldn't move. Stick the wings back on, because I do like the wings more than the normal boosters. That's how you know it's a space jet. And then you can just take the skirt armor parts, and there's a slot right at the end of the hip where they plug in. Again, now imagine me trying to do this with like tiny mechanisms that move every part. It'd be kind of a mess. Just the nature of the design. And we're almost done. You can take the shield, take the gun, retract the handle, and then just pull out this little flap on the end, and you can just these together. And now the shield goes in that sexy crotch hook. And here we go. This is your ReZEL Commander's type in mobile armor mode. And I like it. I like this strange little compact space fighter thing. And the real test is that if you can put it up like this, yeah, I can see that in a shoot 'em up. It's going right back and forth. I need to make a ReZEL shoot 'em up. I'd definitely play it. I really hope this guy becomes a fan favorite too, because he's a lot like the Zeta 2, which is also a strange fan favorite that headlined the Gundam Fixed Figuration Next Generation part of the Gundam Fix line. Now obviously you don't want to just hold this guy around all day. So we take the pretentious display stand, stick in this new part, and then we take these. And all you have to do is slot them in the rear of the toy. The instructions actually show you doing this before you put everything back together, but I found you can still do it even though you've completed the transformation. And just clamp it in. Now it's on there nice and tight. Stick this part in. And here you go. It's the ReZEL on its stand in mobile armor mode. And one nice thing about the ReZEL is, true to the show, you do have tiny little handlebars, because real mobile suit pilots like to ride each other. These are also present on the standard backpack. And I'm hoping they make some more GFFN figures to go with this guy, because I really like it. And I hope maybe they'll go back and do some of those other Zeta variants that were already done in the previous GFF line, which were all made of sloppy PVC instead of this nice hard plastic and lots of palm parts. Not as much metal as the Zetas Y, but still, it's a very nice figure, and I like it a lot. Oh, I know you like this. Oh yeah.